Darren. Darren, I'm in London, so nice to meet you. And I think this is the first time you've been here. Looking forward to what you've got for us. But let me just carry on with the introduction in a minute, and we'll speak in a moment. But guys, yes, thank you for coming to the Sunday night to promote your post show here on the WellShares server. It's good to have you here. Don't forget, Sunday nights will be the only night of the week now that we do the promote your post show, because for those of you that weren't here last Thursday, that was the last Thursday promote your post show, because a whole new show is coming for you guys next week to replace that. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm obviously presenting it, and we're going to have all sorts of things going on for you. But in terms of curation, live curation, it will be Sundays only now with me. But don't forget, on Monday, we've got the WellShares curation show as well. So 2 curation shows a week, not 3. But as I say, we've got a whole new show for you guys next Thursday evening, and I'm really looking forward to that one. I think you'll appreciate it. I think you'll like it very much. There's all sorts going on and opportunities to earn WellShares, and everybody who attends will be getting tokens and blah, blah, blah. All the details will be given to you to post when I get that up and ready. But that said, I now must move on and introduce my amazing Cubbilicious assistant, who is, of course, Cubby Elizabeth, but I'm so pleased she's retained the name Cubbilicious. Are you there, Cubby?
Well, you dubbed it, I accepted it, and now I think it's just stuck forever.
Good, as it should be. That name should never, ever change. If it does, then I know something's gone wrong with us too.
Yes, that is a clear indication of it.
So don't ever change that name, otherwise I worry. But good to have you here, Cubby. How's your weekend been?
Very rainy, but extremely relaxing. This is the second to last weekend I'll have my sister in town before she goes back. She just graduated, but she's going back to her school town because she got a job there. So we've been hanging out all day. We did some cooking and we watched a couple of movies. So very lovely evening.
Oh, nice. That does sound nice. What did she graduate in?
She studied the Bachelor of Arts. She got her music administrative degree.
Oh, wow. Cool. Oh, well done to her. What's she going to do now?
She is now the youth director for her local church, and she will be directing the youth in various programs at her local church and involved a little in the choir as well, because she loves to sing and she loves music.
Well, cool. I hope that does involve lots of singing. Oh, well, good luck to her. I was just about to say, we've had tons of rain here as well in England. Well, it's certainly in the London area. Absolutely tons of it. It's been thunder and lightning. Very humid now. And then more thunder and lightning, and then humid. I don't know what's going on, but I do like a good thunderstorm, I have to say. But
really?
Oh, yeah, I love thunder and lightning. It's an amazing weather. Do you not like it?
I can't say that I don't, but it's been going on for 3 weeks now, and I'm ready for the sun to stick out and stay out.
Yeah, well, fair enough. After 3 weeks, I would be ready for some sunshine. Well, I hope you get it anyway, Cubbilicious. Right, okay. Better move on then. I need to also remind you guys that this is kind of a first for the Promote Your Post show, because you guys are going to benefit from the You Got Snecked initiative by Snecky, who's here tonight. She's going to be dropping 20% upvotes on all your posts, and she's also going to be selecting 4 to 5 posts to get a full 100% upvote. And currently she's throwing just over $1 at a full upvote. So that's a nice little boost to your post. She's going to talk about that more a little later on. But I just thought I'd let you know that now. And don't forget, tonight I'm giving you guys hair shares. It's hair shares tonight. Again, for the 3rd week running, I'll put my own personal lot into the pool, so you get a bit extra. So probably around about 20 hair shares each. Gives you a little bit more. Not much, but hey, every little helps. Right, okay, quick run through the rules. Rule number 1, if you present at the beginning of the show, please don't run. Please stay on and support others. Give out some votes if you get some votes, because that's what this whole show is about. Rule number 2, please don't forget to DM me your BitShares username before you leave the show if you present a post, so I can get you some tokens, some hair shares at the end of the show. Very important that. I'll ask for your BitShares usernames later on in the show. Rule number 3 is, of course, Cubby. What's rule number 3?
Always love Cubby more than Freedom, but you must say that you love us both equally.
Well, that's actually not rule number 3, but we'll go with that anyways. Rule 3A for tonight. But no, rule 3 is please keep the discussion to discussion about the posts that are being presented. It's not a general chat, so just respect people who are presenting their posts. And if there's topics related to the post, no problem with that at all. But it is just to respect those people who are presenting their posts. It's not a general chat, so that would be greatly appreciated. And with that, I think I shall begin. And of course, I have remembered this time, it is indeed the most important post ever written on the Steam It platform. It is my post, a post that helps this show. And
I re-steamed that one. Did you see that I re-steamed that?
Oh, well done. Thank you, Kirby. I didn't even ask you, so thank you for that.
I know. I did it all on my own. You should be so.
I'm very proud. Thank you for that. But it is nice that the assistant host does re-steam it. We had this conversation last time. But anyway, guys, I'd appreciate some love on my post. I give out posts, so it's nice to get some back. And there it is. Right. Okay. That said, I am going to begin. And I'm going to begin with someone we haven't seen for a while. And I think she's had problems with this room. I don't know what's been going on, but the honeys, are you there?
I'm here. Hello.
Hello. You've been coming to shows, but you've been muted and deafened. Have you had problems, technical problems?
No, I may have jumped on or been on already. I've been traveling, so I actually haven't been here. It was a ghost.
Okay, so sorry to interrupt you. Thank you, PowerPix. I did indeed. I keep doing this lately. I never bother clicking on the Curation Lounge text channel because normally I unlock it, but these days I don't do that. So I posted that in general. Anyway, it's now in the right place. There's my post. If you could show it some love, I'd appreciate that very much. Popped it in general by mistake, but now it's in its right place. Yeah. Okay, apologies about that, Amy.
No, but I'm happy to be here. I'm actually here tonight. It's just in the last week I was traveling, but I'm officially here tonight.
Oh, okay. It's just that we've seen you pop in, but you've been muted and we thought you might, and deafened, but we thought you might have problems.
Nope, no problems. I think I was just logged in and had it muted and deaf and didn't click off of it from the last time I was in. Is what I think.
No worries. Well, so long as you're well, I hope you are. Give us your post.
Okay, I love traveling. So this is in Toronto, and it's actually from a little bit ago. But because it was winter there when I was there, I just didn't have time to post on it. But just seeing the city, and again, there's just a ton of pictures. The pictures. Went to Kensington Avenue, was with a good friend of mine, Trayvon Taylor. He's another author that I travel with a lot. And we were walking through Kensington Market, and his favorite thing is Moscow mules. And in Canada, it's funny because in different countries, they have different flavors. And so they have Moscow mule potato chips in Canada. So that was kind of fun.
Do you know, this does look a great place. I've just come to a picture serving potheads since, I forget. Tell me about that shop.
We were cracking up. So it's funny because Trayvon is actually an ex-cop. He was a cop before he was an author. And so we were walking past, and that just cracked us up when we saw that shop. And so I asked people, because I live in Vegas where it's legal, but I asked people, oh, so is it legal here in Toronto? And it's actually not. But I loved the tagline. They just put it right out there, and it said, it was a pot shop, and it said, serving potheads since ... we forget.
I know that is awesome. Do you know what? I'm glad to see that, as you say in your post, you do, once you've taken thousands and thousands of pictures from wherever you've been, you do become, you have this selection filter, and it's good that you have that because it's important, I think. And I think that first image really is stunning, by the way. That is ice I see on the sea or the river. Is that a river or the sea?
It's the harbor there in Toronto, and I was staying at the hotel, which was right at the harbor, the Radisson, and it's just absolutely, it was stunning. Like, everywhere we walked was just beautiful, and there's some pictures that I really loved of the seagulls, actually. I mean, they were just right up and close, and I had my camera out, and they flew right at me. So that's a really cool picture too, that seagull picture. But it's just, I just see beauty in these different cities that I go to, and I like all of them for so many different reasons.
Yeah, it's great, and you capture a lot of the experience, in your pictures. I've noticed you're using a really fancy style here in one section. I think about halfway through, you're cramming in 5 photos in one little section there. How are you doing that?
Are you talking about the collages?
Yeah, halfway down, you get to collages in your post.
Yeah, I actually use a couple apps. I gotta look at what that app is, but there's a couple apps I use for my pictures that make them like that. I should probably do a whole post just on that because, but my secret weapon, one is called Pip Camera, and that's how I do the collages. And then my secret weapon is a totally free app, and it's called Snapseed.
Oh, okay. All right. Good stuff. It's good. You know, all these different styling techniques is always interesting to learn. But my God, you've managed to cram in tons of pictures, and it really does give us that that insight. Those cheeses. Tell us about those cheeses quickly.
Oh my God. We walked into this shop, and this shop was that was what the shop looked like. The whole shop was just this packed in with cheese, and it literally made me gag. It was so disgusting. And I like cheese, but oh my God, this stunk so bad. I don't know if it was a particular cheese or a combination of the cheeses, but we were all gagging.
Oh man, see, I'm a cheese fan, and believe me, I would be very, very delighted to be in that shop. But okay, awesome post. By the way, what were you doing in Toronto?
I was working again, speaking. You know, we're authors and speakers, and we travel pretty much weekly. And you know, I just came back from England. You know, I was there, and so we travel all over the world. So sometimes I'm like back to back to back, and I just get home and try to get posts, do a post.
Fair enough. Awesome. Well, I hope you had a good time, even if it was working in part. But right, guys, any comments or questions for the honeys?
I love the cheese pictures. I'm like you. I really, really enjoy cheese. But if that was a closed store, I can only imagine what it smelled like. And it probably would make me not eat cheese for a very long time.
Yeah, it was really, I can't even describe the smell. Like, I've never experienced anything like that. And I guess I'd never really been into a cheese store either, but it was just like, as far as you could see, it was just cheeses in like every single different kind.
The problem is, if I'm honest with you, I'm not a big fan of the smell of cheese. I love the taste of it, but the smell, do you know what? I might actually not be able to stay too long in that shop if it was that potent.
It was. I was literally long enough to take pictures and get out.
I can imagine. I can imagine the odor to be quite overpowering. ScuzzyBot, as he is tonight, I don't know what's going on there, but maybe he can explain later. ScuzzyBot wants to know, how are the people in Toronto compared to other places?
Well, you know, Canada has a rumor of being very friendly, and the people are very friendly. But when you're dealing with some of the service areas, like we deal with a lot of the hotels because we're in some of the nicer hotels. And actually, oh my God, the Ritz in England was absolutely horrible. But anyway, we're dealing with a lot of the hotels, and most of the people are really friendly. But when you're dealing in the service industry, they're kind of funny. They kind of are like, you know, I don't know, they're not as nice as you would think. So, but most Canadians are super nice people. Like, I love my Canadian friends. And yes, Toronto's a lot safer. So that's one of the things I love about it, is that it reminds me of New York, but it's not quite as fast-paced and dirty, I guess.
Yeah, I have to say, most Canadians that I bump into on here are absolutely amazing. Really, really nice people. Kind of in awe of them in a way. But tell me, what happened? Disappointed to hear that your experience with the Ritz in England wasn't so good. What happened?
Oh my God. So we went in the day before. To set the hotel up, and apparently they expected us to set it up in ball gowns because we were in jeans and baseball caps, and they weren't going to let us in. And we argued with them for about an hour and a half. And
sorry, did you say you were in jeans and baseball caps?
Yeah, we were in jeans and baseball caps.
So now I'm getting this.
Yeah, and they were not happy with us. And so they were going to try to, so basically when we set up a room, like we're setting up a convention room or a boardroom in the hotel. And so we were setting it up, and we were supposed to come in the next morning at 7 a.m. So they'll set the room up the day before, and the Ritz was trying to charge us just to oversee the setup. And I mean, like, it was literally, it was so funny because we walked away and we said, oh my God, I know what Pretty Woman feels like. Because after she found out who we were there with, after an hour and a half, they completely changed their tune. And then they were like, what do you need? Can I get you a coffee? Can I get you this? Can I get you that? And then the following week we were in the Four Seasons, where Pretty Woman was actually shot in Los Angeles. So it was really kind of funny because I kept saying, I felt like Pretty Woman. I felt like Pretty Woman.
This is amazing because I can understand why they obviously had that initial reaction. It's probably a real shock to the system, but I'm so pleased you managed to make them warm to you. That's fantastic, Amy.
It's funny. I loved England. Oh, England was amazing.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, I'm glad there was a positive in the end. So thank you very much for that, guys. Amy, guys, get voting on that great post. And have we done comments and questions? I think we have. Yes, we have. There it is, guys. Get voting on it. Great post. Thank you for that, honey. It's good to see you back. Right. Okay. I am going to move on. And up next, we have someone we haven't seen before. Movement 19. Are you there? Movement 19, can you hear me?
Yes,
yeah.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good to see you here. Where are you from?
Well, originally New York City, uptown. Grew up in the tri-state area between New York, New Jersey, a little bit of Philadelphia. I lived in the South for a while, and I currently live along the south coast of Massachusetts.
Awesome. What have you got for us tonight?
So I have to, I don't think I copied and pasted it, so you might have to give me a second while I'm talking here. But I do have a curation and update post that I've been doing or trying to keep up with weekly. So give me a moment here.
No, that's fine. I will try keeping the show going while you do that. Why is the Honeys asking if you have a cold? I don't know. Maybe he'll tell us when he comes back. Who knows? Curators are indeed called, small guy. Absolutely they are.
Hey guys, just Robert here. Just wanted to do a mic check. Sorry for the interruption.
No worries. You're coming through fine, Robert. I'm glad you did a mic check. Oh,
there it is.
There it is. Yeah, tell us first.
Actually, it's funny. I mentioned to Snecky earlier that because she wanted to chat and I'd been coughing all day. I don't know if it's a cold. I think it's more so allergies.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it wasn't me. I didn't notice anything, but the Honeys picked up on that one, Amy there. So, but I'm glad we've got to the bottom of that. Anyway, tell us about your post.
Okay, so basically it's called the Flu Shot. My DJ name is Avian Flu, Flew, and so it's a play on words, obviously. And originally I was I started to do it every Friday as kind of an update and a recap on my weekly podcasts because I podcast at this point 4 nights a week. But I started to really get into the whole curation thing as I started to learn more about Steemit. And so I thought that it would kind of be a good kill two birds with one stone, a one-stop shop where I could curate and do updates at the same time.
Oh, okay. Can you tell us a bit more then about this initiative?
So it's kind of a work in progress, and as I said initially, it was just an update and just to kind of like recap my own shows. But I one of the first things I started doing was just tagging people whose blogs I found interesting, and then as I said, I learned a little bit more about curating and saw that people were actually doing short write-ups, and I thought, oh, this was something I could do, and so I don't call it a curation post because obviously that's not just what it is, and I am very choosy. I only pick like 2 or 3, not posts in particular, but the actual blogger, and I may link a post, a recent post, so they can get some upvotes, especially if it's the post that caught my attention. But sometimes it's just the actual blogger that catches my attention, and it's everything they do, not just one particular post. Which is something I'm not sure I've noticed much in the curation posts. It's usually people are curating one specific recent post. So I like to kind of highlight the individual. And I so far, I normally pick people who I've been active and interacted with on the Discord channels, so I at least know something about them.
Yeah, I'm just going through the posts. I mean, it really is more of a it seems to be more of a curation about people than posts. I think that's a great approach, because I'm scrolling through the post and I've just come to a whole list of people you're basically giving a shout out to, aren't you?
Yeah, right. So and that's a word I've seen used a lot. People are saying thanks for the shout outs, and that's something I do like on my weekly podcast when I'm live on the air. So I figure, yeah, why not? I like it. It's something I just started doing. I fell behind because I've been on Steam now since January, and this is only number 6. So I did fall behind. I wasn't doing it for a little over a month. I had some personal issues going on, but this is my first one back. And I'm going full steam ahead. STEEM.
But where do you actually do your podcast? Where is it, on Discord?
Okay, so I podcast 4 nights a week. Mondays I'm on MSP Waves at 4 p.m. Eastern time, and that's called iHeart News. So that I currently I'm in Massachusetts, running and managing and administrating an organic agricultural co-op and craft cannabis cooperative. So we decided, the people who started this wanted to do some podcasting. I'm the only one who had experience doing that, so I actually started doing that on MSP Waves. Then on Tuesdays, I continue to do a talk show that I started while I was in college a few years ago that I initially just started just for fun. I'd been DJing for so many years, and I'd done some interviews with hip-hop artists over the years. So I wanted to try my hand at a talk show, and I stick to topics that are close to my heart, very, very sensitive and controversial topics. I've had like episodes on anti-vaccinations and unschooling, and I have a huge one coming up that I'm working on a post with B. Johnson, the world leader in the zero waste movement. So not for the faint of heart. And then on Discord again on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I'm on Steam Music Alliance. On Wednesdays, I DJ for 3 hours, either hip hop or house and techno. And then on Thursdays, drum and bass, trap, dubstep, that sort of thing.
Wow, 4 nights a week. That's a pretty hectic schedule you got there. And how long have you been doing that for?
So I've only been doing the podcast with Steam Music Alliance for probably for about a month and change now, but I've been podcasting myself since before the term existed. I've been DJing 34 years, and throughout the 90s I did a lot of college radio, pirate radio, what we used to call internet radio, and then segued into podcasting. Was just kind of a natural thing. We just kind of changed the terminology.
Wow. Good stuff. And this weekly flu shot that you do, this is a kind of roundup, really, of all that's going on in your week.
Yeah, and so that was the initial that was into the initial intention, and then as I said, I really thought that I could kind of work some curation and shout outs and whatnot into it, and just make it like almost like a little zine. I'm still playing around with it. I'm still playing around with my formatting, and I notice people don't like too many words. I've been criticized a little bit over on Steam Engine for that, and that I should break things up. But I like to write, and I have a lot to say, and I don't know. I'm still kind of trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, you do pack in a few words there, but to be honest, thankfully you break things up a bit. But hey, I think it's a great post, and what you're doing is amazing. Okay, guys, any comments, questions for Movement 19?
Thank you.
I love that you're so involved. I think it's awesome. I'm a huge fan. As you know, you're one of my faves, but whatevs. And I love the idea that you approach this by promoting people, not so much just their posts. That's really cool. I don't know what gave you that idea, but if you ever need any help formatting your post, let me know. I got some ideas that might help break it up a little bit for it. But how do you manage your time is what my big question. Like DJing 4 times a week and working and steaming and doing this big project. Like, how do you do it all?
Wow, what's up, Cubby? Good question. And it's funny because I got to shout out Snakey over here. It turns out I'm gonna start helping them on their curation posts. And the first post I picked, I guess I'll give a little tiny sneak preview. I won't tell you who it is just yet, but it's actually about that. It was a post I found yesterday about a stay-at-home mom who manages her time between what she does and blogging. And I'm actually a stay-at-home dad where I work. I live where I work, so we live on a homestead and micro farm, the place that I mentioned. So that makes things a little bit easier, but there's 4 kids here. 2 are mine, 2 are my partners, and I watched 3 of them all day, and I unschool my kids. So how do I manage my time? I mean, the music podcasts were the ones I've been doing the longest, and I dedicate myself to those because it's a something I need. It's a release. Something I can't get away from. DJing is my passion. So it at least gives me an excuse to do that every week, and everybody, respects that. And because now I have a way to monetize my online activity, everybody kind of helps me make time for that as well. So I think that definitely is a huge factor. I don't know. I just, I juggle what I need to juggle.
You make it happen, you find a flow. I love it. Very cool. Thanks for sharing.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah, you are juggling a lot of stuff there, but you seem to do it. So kudos to you. Well done. Awesome post. Thank you for that. Guys, show Movement 19 some love there. It's doing some great things in the Steemit community. Upvote that post. But we're running out of time, so sorry, I'm going to have to move on. But thank you.
No problem. Thank you all.
You're very welcome. Right, okay, up next, Maru. Maru, are you there? Hello, Maru. Have you got a post? Oh, no. Really? Oh, that's disappointing.
Come on, Maru.
Oh, she's here to support. Bless her. That's very kind of you, but disappointed you don't have a post because your posts are always epic. But never mind. Never mind. I think I'm going to have to choose another girl then in that case. And I bet it better be Snecky. Snecky, are you there?
No, I'm in hiding.
Oh, okay. I'll move on then. Up next.
No!
Why are you hiding?
She's hiding, but she's there.
I'm hiding, but I can talk.
Talk away.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, let's have your post, but also tell us a bit more about the what you're doing for this show tonight.
Well, my post is about that, kind of. I'm giving everybody who presents their post tonight here on the show 20% upvote, and I will pick a few posts that I will upvote 100%, and they will be featured in the next curation compilation post this Tuesday. I shared my post because curation compilation.
I like it. I like it too. So, who are we meeting in your latest? You get snacked, or you got snacked.
In the latest, we have at Dynamic Green TK, Snook. I have to scroll down. The Hive, Simker and Snook with their Bat Karaoke. I really love that.
I was going to say, if you had to choose one, who would really stand out above the rest, or is that a bit mean?
I don't think it is mean. I really enjoyed the Bat Karaoke because I think that brings a lot of fun to the platform. Everybody kind of likes to sing, even if it doesn't sound perfect. It gives happiness, and I am all about sharing happiness to the platform. So if I had to really pick, it would be that post.
I would. Do you know what? Tell me more about Bad Karaoke. Is there a video or anything?
Yeah, it's a contest. Everybody can enter. You can, take a video or a vlog, if you want to call it like that. And you just,
but you have to be as bad as you can.
Well, I think so. That's the fun. But I think you can also just join if you just like it. I saw one who did it with it was a girl, and she put on a fake mustache and pretended that she was a male singing. I saw really fun entries, and I love them all. It's just having this little happy moment and just having fun, and I think that's really important in this world right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Kitty Girl just said there it's actually fun karaoke, not bad karaoke. So that kind of makes a bit more sense.
Yeah, well, they call it bad karaoke, so I call it bad karaoke, and I like being bad, so.
Oh, okay. So there's different words for it, but do you know what? I didn't know this existed. I am going to have to. I'm going to have to dig this out and have a look, and have a listen, I should say.
Yeah, absolutely. You might, and maybe you should do an entry.
Well, no, I'd need to go in the premium karaoke.
No, this is an excellent idea. You should do fun/bad karaoke. Freedom.
No, excuse me. I need to go in the premium 5-star karaoke, not the bad karaoke.
We need to do shrooms and do some karaoke.
Yeah, that would be worth listening to. That would definitely be worth listening to for sure. And then after that, we need to hear Boy Robert on shrooms doing karaoke.
Oh my God.
Awesome post, Snecky. Okay, any comments or questions for Snecky? Yes, Bug. Shrooms and tunes. There you go. Got the title. Okay. Snecky, tell us a bit more though about what you're doing tonight with us for this show.
Oh, I'm just opening up every post and I am curating them on the spot and decide if I want to feature them in my next post. Give up upvotes to everybody who is presenting 20%. I do not believe in that the vote should not be the most important thing. Getting a whale vote is like amazing. It feels good, but I believe that views on your post is what matters. So I'm going to be featuring the posts that I snack and, hopefully get them more followers.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for that, Snecky. Appreciate that. And I'm sure the people who are presenting the posts tonight will appreciate it. And this initiative that you do, I think, is brilliant. So, guys, get voting on it. I'm going to put the link up to it one more time. Great post, great initiative, and very generous of you. Thanks for that, Snecky.
You're welcome, and I love doing it, and maybe I can do it more often if my VP allows me to. And thank you for having me on the show again.
Yeah, I was going to say your VP might take a hit, but you're very welcome. Thanks for that, Snecky. Right, okay, up next we have Raymond Speaks.
Hello.
Yeah. Thanks, Nikki. Nice post, great post, Nikki.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Guns, thank you for that. If you could just mute your mic, that'd be great. Yes, go ahead. Raymond Speaks.
Can you hear me all right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, Guns, if you could just pause for a moment, yeah?
Okay, so my post is the appreciation for men contest. So I'm creating a contest where the winner could win 30 Steam dollars for giving us a reflective piece of art on why men should be appreciated, or why they appreciate themselves, or, it's all about men.
Okay. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Sorry, I just stopped for a breather there. Yeah, so there's a lot of negativity towards men in the media at the moment and all around. I feel it, and I just want to...
Yeah, £10 sterling. Can you just mute your mic? Thank you.
I just want to create a bit of love, because... yeah, for everything negative, there's always the positive as well. And a bit of an announcement about my man cave that I am creating. I've actually secured funding for it now. And I was speaking to a few people, and instead of launching my coin on the BitShares platform, I'm actually going to launch my coin on the Whaleshares platform when it starts. So I'm going to hold off on that and gather a community first, and then launch it on the Whaleshares. And also, I've actually secured delegation for the Man Cave on Whaleshares as well. I don't know if I'm allowed to say their name, but so it'll be hopefully quite a big project when it starts.
Oh, interesting. Okay. But in relation to this contest, I mean, the first prize is 30 SBD. Second prize is 10 SBD, and then third 5. That's a lot of SBD you're giving out there. Very generous rewards. But in this reflective piece that you're speaking about, this contest here you're launching, and you want people to tell you what you love about men. Is there a kind of word limit or not?
No, no word limit. There is actually, it could be anything. I am open to all pieces of art. Remember, though, it's subjective. So there are some arts that I don't, well, no, all arts. I'll try and get other people in, have a view as well. I'm willing to accept all kinds of art as long as there's been you could tell that there's been a lot of work done to it, if that makes sense. There's been a lot of effort put into it. I chose 30 SBD because, you know, that's an appropriate reward for for a lot of work, you know. I really believe that artistry should be appropriately rewarded. I've been an artist myself now for about 4 or 5 years, and we're really shafted the wrong way, and I believe that good art should be rewarded. And to tackle, in the same breath, to tackle the negativity that's facing men, I just want people to sort of think of the good things that men do as well, or think of the good things that you do if you're a man.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is this sort of post that you're doing, it ties in completely with the theme of the man cave and stuff. And it's great that you're exploring this. And I'm so pleased you're sticking with this. And don't forget, by the way, put up a link to your server, your man cave, which, by the way, is open to both men and women. Because
it's not open yet, though. It's not open yet. It will be open soon. I need to get it ready first.
Oh, when's it going to open?
In the next few days, so don't worry. I will put up a link.
Make sure you do, because I think you're going to get quite a few people in there. I'm certainly going to be coming in. I think it's a great idea, and I think this post and this contest is fantastic, because there is this wider political context of what's going on in the world at the moment, and I mean, where I stand on this. I think LCR put up something there which maybe we can discuss in a moment when we open this up, but. I think he said machismo, maybe masculinism. I don't know. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I think there's a lot of social and political stuff going on here, which is feeding into this negative depiction and portrayal of men. And I hate it. I can't stand it. And it's got to stop, quite frankly. And I think this is doing something there to try and push this tide of hatred back. And I think it's great.
Yeah, I'm really trying to. I mean, I'm a writer for men, and I've always been a writer for men. And actually, one of my most recent, the post that I'd just written before I came on here, was about how the whole men pushback at the moment is framed on how they interact with women. But actually, one of the most important things about being a well-balanced man is learning to have acceptance for yourself, and learning about, being a man is not about how we interact with women. It's actually about how we are as men and how we interact with each other. So I think there's a lot of pushback in society at the moment about how men interact with women, but that's great. What we should be doing is we actually should be focusing on ourselves and how we feel as men. And I think we need to a man cave is sort of needed, if that makes sense.
Absolutely it's needed. But if this was ever introduced kind of by local authorities or the government, it just would never surface. It would never see the light of day. Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea, but we're running out of time. So I'm going to move on. Any comments or questions for Raymond? There's tons of comments going up. I don't know if you saw them, but yeah, £10 sterling. Do you want to come in?
So, considering the fact that the patriarchy is considered to be frowned upon highly by feminist communities, do you feel as if that's justified for all the oppression that males have brought forth onto, let's say, minorities and females in the past generations, specifically in the underdeveloped countries and also in countries such as Saudi Arabia, where human rights is completely disregarded for females?
That's probably a great idea, but I won't be focusing on any of that. It's not about creating division or what we did in the past. It's all about what we are now and what we exist as now and how we can take ourselves forward. It's not about anything to do with that. It's just about how do we better ourselves as men. And I think actually discussing things like that creates more division and more pushback.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work out, £10 sterling, what is it you were trying to say there?
More so about the main reason behind, I'd say, the delegation of man hatred, air quote, from a reasonable perspective, just a form of debate, seeing as if he would understand that there is reasoning for this mindset.
Oh, completely understand. There's totally reasoning for this mindset, but I, as I say, I don't want to focus on the past. I mean, I'm completely at terms with what's happened in the past. I'm saying this place will be a place that looks towards the future and how we can make the world a better place. I mean, we can always look at the past, but if we get stuck in the past, then we'll just, you know, get angry, needlessly angry. This will be a place to look towards the future and better ourselves as people.
Awesome. Well, great. You have my support nonetheless.
Awesome. Thank you.
I think that a lot, it actually just chimes what Yidnith just said there. A lot of what the minorities and their agenda is about is not, in fact, equality. And it is, I mean, they have dominated the political agenda for so long that it's almost as though if they don't dominate the agenda, somehow they are either badly treated in some way. And that's not the case at all, because we're seeing this diversity and equality agenda pushed to its extremes, where in actual fact it becomes completely an unequal playing field for everyone, by the way, but particularly the majorities. And this is the irony of it. It isn't equality, it's actually inequality, but from a different perspective. And I think something like the man cave is doing a little bit to rebalance things, and it's great. I think it's a fantastic idea, Raymond, and I love it very much. So well done. I'm going to put the link up to the post.
I have one addition to that, because in the first world Western countries, they make men more feminine, it seems, and they have high expectations, but they make the man feminine, you know.
Yes, I think there is a general feminization, if you want to call it that, agenda going on, and it's destructive.
Well, I mean, I'm going to make this as short as I can. I mean, I could see where they're coming from. I mean, they want some men to become, some masculine, really masculine men to become more feminine, to open up. But what they're doing is they're taking those very few men and applying it to the general population, the men. When some men, like myself, for fact, I had a dad that was a very overtly masculine man, and he treated women like crap, and my mum really, really didn't want me to become like that, so she made me the other extreme, where I was just, you know, too nice and approaching any woman, it was like, no, I don't want to date one of my girlfriends. So I had to re-find my balance, re-find how to be a man. So in some cases, feminizing men is great, but applying it to the general population is not a good thing, because there's some people who are, most men, I think, are already balanced or have a good balance.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's a good point to make. I mean, there are those alpha males, those really sort of strong masculine men, which is exactly the image that the feminists will use to justify a lot of what I think is their negative agenda. Not entirely negative, but a lot of their agenda I think is negative, and they will use that extreme masculine man image as their justification. But I think what you just said there is right, because most men, I think, are more balanced than what the media portrays and what society portrays, actually. So, but it's you know, it's an interesting debate. But I'm going to have to move on. But great post and good luck with that. And I'm going to just put that up one more time. Thank you, Black Libertario. Right, there it is. Okay, going to move on. And up next we have the Kitty Girl.
Hello, everyone. Well, anyone who has followed my blog for a while knows that I have posted a lot recently about the crystals and stones that I have in my collection. I've posted a lot of spring flowers, and someone recently reminded me that I had begun posting some barns, and I had stopped doing it for the crystals and stones. So I'm back into posting my barns into the rotation. And the barn that I most recently posted is a very simple type of barn that is called a granary, because it's where its grain can be stored for feeding wildlife. And this little barn has got a place built up high off the ground to keep the grain from away from the animals and mice and things that would get into it. And then there's two lean-to roof-type porticos that come down on the sides that are good places for building animal pens or for storing tractors and things like that. So I thought it was a pretty cool structure, even though it's very, very tiny. It's not nothing like a big, magnificent barn. And I do have a lot of big, magnificent barns in my collection, and I will be posting some of those soon. But I wanted to throw this one out. I'm trying to kind of sort of go in sequence, and this was the next barn up. So, so if you have an interest in barns and homesteading and things like that, definitely check out my blog. Also look at it for the crystals and stones and flowers and things. I try to post a variety.
Well, yeah, as we're learning, Kitty Girl, you've got all sorts of interests going on. But the barn one is a new one. It's really interesting because I've told you before, I mean, I'm in London and I really miss the countryside. Not that I've ever lived in the countryside, but I do miss greenery and the sea because I see it all on TV and whatever, and I want to get there. I grew up in a seaside town and I certainly miss the sea. But when I look at pictures and posts like this, and it's all about the rural areas of America, gosh, I do have a pining for it. It looks great. But what is it about barns that kind of interests you?
Well, you know, I really can't put my finger on it. What started me out was I saw a barn that was really pretty. It was structured very well. I love the old weathered wood on it. And so I made a picture of that barn. And then I came across another one and I thought, well, this barn is pretty too. So I made a picture of it. And then before you know it, you know, I've got over 300 photographs of barns in the area, and there's probably that many more that I have not yet photographed. I guess it's part the old beautiful weathered wood, is part history. It's part just, I don't know, a fascination with the ruralness of the structures and things. I really can't.
This barn actually is just abandoned now?
No, it is not. It is a working barn. It is still being used currently by some people that do a small farm just to feed themselves. They're not in a commercial thing, but they've got a few chickens and a few pigs and whatnot, and they've got some land that they grow crops on just for themselves.
Yeah, you're saying it's more of a simplistic style of barn. So it's a granary, the storage room elevated to keep the rodents out, because I guess that must be a bit of an issue.
Yes, it certainly is. And after you put all of the work and care into raising crops, you definitely don't want them to be ruined. And a lot of rodents do carry diseases too. So it's definitely worth safeguarding.
So do the people who run this barn, are they sort of suppliers for local shops and things, or what do they do with their produce?
No, it's just for themselves. They have the chickens for the eggs, and they grow a few crops for themselves, their family and friends. That's it. They don't supply to local shops. But there are some other farmers in the area that do have bigger fields and whatnot, and they do supply honey or crops or whatnot to some of the local stores.
So it's purely for their own self-consumption, yeah? For their own consumption?
Yes, absolutely. It goes both ways. Yeah, absolutely.
So do a lot of Americans who live in rural areas do that sort of thing?
Yes, raising crops, at least for themselves, is very common. It's a good way to save money. Plus, you don't know what the people who, the big companies like Monsanto have put in their seeds and whatnot. And there's so many pesticides and things that are harmful. If you grow the food yourself, you know what's in it. You know that it's safe. You know you've not put pesticides on it. And there's a lot of ways in simple farming that you can put one kind of plant next to another kind of plant to discourage pests without having to use the pesticides. So yeah, growing the food yourself, you know what's.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm big on this myself. Not on growing food, but on buying food that is organically produced. I'm big on organic produce. I can't get everything organically, but I do what I can in London. But if I had my own land like that, oh, damn right, I'd be producing as much food and crops that I could, which would be entirely devoid of chemicals and pesticides and all the rest of it. But yeah, you know exactly what you're getting. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Kitty Girl. Any comments or questions for Kitty Girl?
Well, I see one question in the chat from DJoy that says, if there is such knowledge, why the need for pesticides? The thing is the big companies that grow, like say the farmers that are growing corn for Del Monte or whatnot, they want to have huge fields of corn with just as much corn as they can have, and they don't want to plant anything else next to it that might discourage pests from the corn, because that would sacrifice some of the corn growing space that they have. So they use the pesticides so that they can kind of maximize their output. And it is kind of sad that they have to do it that way, but that's the way they do it.
Something that I want to add to that is the fact that they overproduce corn. When the people don't consume enough corn that they do, they give it away to animals, and those animals start getting sick. And that's it's like a circle that goes and goes and goes.
That is absolutely true. Yes, and then we consume the animals, and then we get sick. Yeah.
Sorry, go on. £10 sterling. Were you going to say?
Oh yes, absolutely. One thing that I mentioned, I heard that you mentioned was the fact that if you plant your own seeds and you don't use pesticides, that you know what you're getting, and you know that you've grown it and it's authentic, and there's no genetically modification done, because you know that you planted the correct seed. But in fact, I've heard studies and research of, I'd say, genetic code traveling through the air from these seeds and from these pesticides over to local farms that have organic produce, and it literally cross-contaminating just from the winds, actually. What are your thoughts on that?
That's really something that I haven't considered in the past, that I guess. And then too, the bees and the birds that kind of help cross-pollinate things definitely could be bringing something over. That's a very good point.
Okay, awesome. Prompted quite a discussion there. Great, great post. Thanks for that, Kitty Girl. Gonna have to move on, I'm afraid, because we're running out of time. But get voting on it, guys. Okay, what time are we? I'm going to try fitting in one more post before handing back to, handing over to Cubbylicious. And up next we have Yogi Marks, or Younger Marks, but Yogi, are you there?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, it's all good. We're just waiting for you. What have you got for us?
Let me see. I wasn't even expecting to get fake record. Hold on, let me see what I got.
No worries. We will just wait patiently here for you. ScuzzyBot, why are you ScuzzyBot? Are we going to find out later? I hope we are.
Maybe that'll be part of the 15 minutes of wisdom Scuzzy imparts as to why he's a bot.
Do you know what? I'm thinking that exactly. Yeah. And he's not getting 15 minutes, I'm afraid. He's getting 15 seconds. But yeah, I think it might be to do with that. Oh, it's not pro sign, is it? ScuzzyBot? 1011 pro sign? Who knows? Anyway, Yogi, are you there?
Okay, I'm here. What's up, bro?
Yeah, tell us about your post.
I shared my post. I wasn't really. I came to check them out. This is actually maybe like the first time I ever popped in and checked out the show. I interacted with you yesterday. Cool guys. So let me come check out the show and so we'll see what's going on here. And I didn't expect to be called up to the plate to bat, but so you caught me off guard. What's going on?
You have to be prepared when you come to this show. You could be called at any moment. But how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Can't complain.
Awesome. Tell us about your posts.
Well, this post is, well, I do these posts every week. I deliver a freestyle. I pick an instrumental. Sometimes an instrumental is suggested by someone else, or maybe I'm inspired by, let's say, a new album that was released or something, and I do a freestyle over it, depending on where the mood swings. And this one was this latest week, so I figured let me share the newest. Where I picked the beat from off of Jay-Z's last album, 444, off a song that's featuring Beyonce on the vocals on the instrumental, and I just spit some bars about a little bit about what's going on right now, what I'm into, a little bit of Steam It and so forth, and I shout out to my homeboy Big Boy in Paradise, who's been very influential in me being able to progress here on the Steam platform.
I'm listening to this right now. That's you. I can hear rapping away there. Yeah.
Yes, I do hip hop music, of course. I do different kind of raps. I actually started back. Not started because I started sharing music on Steam It, but on my hip hop music. But then when I really caught people's attention was when I rapped out the white paper, the Bitcoin white paper, and that caught a lot of people's attention and so forth. It started going viral a little bit on Steam It. Everybody started doing their own version of it. It was pretty cool, and that's basically where Yogi originated at, on the hip hop platform here on Steam.
Okay, and you're talking about crypto. Is that what you do each time with these posts?
No, not always. Not always. Because to be honest, this is new to me. This whole field of crypto, this whole crypto space has been new to me. I share music about different stuff, relationships, my past upbringing, a whole lot of different stuff. But I've recently been able to write about Steam It and so forth in crypto because it's becoming more familiar with me, or the knowledge that I'm gaining for it and so forth has put me in a position to be able to speak about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just going to echo what Have a Heart said there. Rapping about the Bitcoin white paper. That's mad. So I mean, you're clearly a crypto enthusiast. You're combining it with your music work there. Where do you want to take all this then?
Well, we had a great idea. Shout out to 5 Star Entertainment. It was a label that we started here on Steam platform with a couple of other artists and producers, where we would have a record label, and try to make it beyond past Steam, but also pushing the Steam agenda. So basically, we'll be ambassadors pushing Steam and also our hip hop music, to the point where if the funding came from Steam to be able to back up our music careers, we could start doing shows, worldwide and putting on shows for Steam and other members that could come through the show, maybe pay in SBD or Steam. We had a lot of big ideas. It's been kind of put on hold for the time being because the other artists have been slacking a little bit more or less, and our funds have been tied up into other projects. But I'm still pushing the agenda. My goal
So you really want to take this professional, yeah, and you're going to try and use Steam It to help you get there.
Absolutely, and now I can help Steam It grow. Steam It can help me grow, and I help Steam It grow. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's the great thing about Steam It. You know, if you've got something to contribute, you've got something to offer. You know, it is a platform that can help you get to places. So I think that's amazing. And how long have you been doing this?
Since I've been on Steam, and now it's going on almost a year. Imagine how cool would that be? How amazing would that be that you see me, Yogi, chilling with, they say, Puff Daddy on the interview and Jay-Z, and then they asking them how they got started, and I tell them I got started through the internet, and the Steam It helped fund my career, and now people come to my shows and paying SBD and et cetera. How amazing would that be for Steam It? They see me.
That would be unbelievably amazing, for sure, definitely.
A record label built off of a cryptocurrency. That'd be crazy, right?
Oh, totally. You could spread. I mean, you would be the greatest ambassador for Steam at that stage, wouldn't you? Let's be honest.
Absolutely. That's the goal.
Awesome. Okay, great posts. Amazing posts. Thanks for sharing that, Yogi. Any comments or questions for Yogi?
Yeah. I'm doing it as well. I'm pretty far with what I'm going to do. If you want to know what I'm doing with that, you can reach out. Because, it's, on Steam it looks easy, but, you know, there are some restrictions when it comes to content and reach.
Yogi, did you catch that?
I caught some of it or most of it. I could reach out to you. What is it exactly that you do?
You're setting up a label also, but we have plan already written down.
Okay, that's the Steven Music Alliance. Yeah, I just recently ran into a post about them. Definitely, I gotta check it out. I just recently ran into a post about this. I'm sorry.
Oh man, I'm checking out what you do as well. Nice. You know, there are a lot of artists now these days, and it's more a musician's platform, becoming a musician's platform.
Yeah, thank you. I even did I like to call it a Steam It song. I call it Bitcoin Baby, but it's like a cryptocurrency song where I'm mainly only rapping about my Steam It experience and so forth. It's on my page, maybe a few weeks.
Okay, awesome, good stuff. Maybe another.
But I want to thank.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to jump in, Yogi. Yeah, we're running out of time. But
I just wanted to say thank you for having me on your platform.
You're very welcome. You are very welcome. Ogun's going to have to move on, I'm afraid. So thank you very much for that, Yogi. Great post, guys. I'm going to put the link up to it one more time. And who knows, maybe another collaboration there, or connection made, should we say. But Yogi doing some amazing stuff there. I wish him well with that. I hope he can get to the place he wants to get to. Get voting on it, guys. Right, running out of time, I'm afraid, so I'm going to have to move on. I'm going to just hand over to Cubby in a moment. But first, of course, it is Scuzzy's 15 seconds, or ScuzzyBot.
Yeah, exactly. Scuzzy.
I don't know, ScuzzyBot tonight. I don't know if that's got anything to do with it. But Scuzzy, are you there?
Test,
Scuzzy,
test.
Scuzzy.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, ScuzzyBot, we did hear you.
Hey everybody, you're listening to ScuzzyBot Speaks for 15 seconds 01100001100001. Today, I will be performing a short untitled a cappella song. Here it goes. artificial intelligence takeover dolphins. Thank you. I love Cubbylicious and freedom exists, baby.
Yes! That was everything right in the world.
Oh man, ScuzzyBot is the best yet. And even fitting in baby at the end, spot on.
That was awesome. Thank you, Scuzzy. I knew one day you would sing for me.
And that was a song, wasn't it? Let's be honest.
It was. It really was. And the lyrics were just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, Freedom, give me...
Oh, I've got to give Cubby 15 seconds as well. Well, you can have longer than 15 seconds. You can have about 45 minutes. But okay, we'll have to wait for Cubby. I don't know what she's up to now. But maybe she's got a Cubbybot on the way. Who knows? Yidnith, try your mic.
Freedom.
Just let Yidnith do a mic check a minute.
I'm not sure if you can hear me.
You're coming through fine. Yeah, go ahead, boy Robert.
Just about the last post, the rapper, Mr. Bitcoin Master. Did anybody ever hear the rumor that came out about 50 Cent, that when he first started off, he had invested some money in Bitcoin and he had no idea what it was, and supposedly it made him a millionaire?
I haven't heard of that one, but Yogi might have. I don't know. Yogi?
I heard something about that, but then later on I heard that he shut down the rumors that no, he never invested in Bitcoin.
Yeah, it was a rumor after in the end, but it got him a little bit of publicity.
Yeah, it did.
£10 sterling. Can you sort your mic out, please? I don't want to have to keep saying this, all right? Because I don't know why it keeps happening with you. Could you just sort that out? Thanks. Right, Cubby, are you there?
I am here. I am here.
It is now over to you. Do you have a post you'd like to present?
So you always do this to me, and I don't know which one to choose. So I'm just gonna post my most.
Go for it.
Witches of the show. As some of you may or may not know, I am steaming my way to Europe. So every post that I write, all the SPD is going towards funding my trip to Europe, which I bought my plane tickets and renewed my passport with the Steam I earned on steamit.com. There are two separate fundraisers I'm running as well. One is a back to school fundraiser for foster children. We are filling backpacks up for foster children. You can find that post on my blog. Any SPD earned from that is sent towards that. And another one, the Writer's Block is doing a meetup. So if you don't follow me, go ahead and click that follow button. Check out all the lovely things that I'm doing. I write a lot about my life. My family is Brazilian, so they do all sorts of things that I think is hilarious. And then any other random thoughts that I have that I like to discuss with you on the platform. So that's me in a nutshell. And I love that Freedom calls me Cubbylicious because I think it's hilarious.
Well, I'm glad you like the name I've given you, because you can't even spell my name in your post in the title. I'm not really happy about that.
Okay, I tried to fix it, all right, because my DLive wasn't working. Like, wait a minute, and then I go back and edit. I'm gonna try again, but my computer's giving me a hard time. So it was spelled correctly at one point, but every update I do, it like mixes things, and so yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah, that would be good if you could spell my name.
I don't buy that.
Because that take my side.
Let's just give Cubby a hard time for the next 10 minutes about that. But no, okay, awesome. Good. Well, I'm glad.
It's deliberate.
I think it is, but hey, what can you do? It's Cubby. I think it is a good post. I think it's interesting because you're using all this money to literally blog your way to Europe, and I know part of that trip will be going to someone's wedding. I mean, how far are you there with it? In terms of the money that you've saved up, I mean, how much of this trip is sorted?
I will be creating that post, and it will be going up probably tomorrow. Because of the price of SBD was fluctuating a bit, I lost track of how much SBD I raised, but dollar-wise, I raised just over $900 US, which covered my passport, which covered all my flights and trains to and from here to Paris, and then Brittany, France, and then to London, where I'll be spending 2 days as well. And who knows, maybe even meeting you, Freedom, if you can get over me misspelling your name, because that was a mistake. And you still love me deep down inside. So all of that has been purchased. My Airbnb for when I'm in France has been purchased. The next few things that we have to work out, the kinks, is the rental car and where I'll be staying while I'm in London. Linda, who does the Monday night show with Nick and Katrin and a few other curators, will be going to the wedding as well. Nick is getting married, and that's who I'll be attending the wedding in Brittany, France, who kind of got all of this idea started.
I still find this mad, Cubby, that after meeting Nick Flossus, the presenter of the Welshers Curation Show, that I used to curate with you, and you meeting him there, that you're now going to his wedding. I still find that mad, but I'm so pleased you're doing it.
Isn't it crazy? Some people ask me, oh, you're going to Europe? That's so exciting. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to a wedding. And they're like, that's great. Are you going by yourself? I'm like, no, I'm meeting friends there for the first time and attending a wedding of someone who I've never met before. But we're really good friends.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're doing it. And I'm going to just put the link up to your post one more time to try and get you some more upvotes to get you to that wedding. Guys, great post. Get voting on it. Right, I'm handing it.
Thank you so much, Freedom. I appreciate it. And guys, I'm super excited to see all of you here to the show again. Even first timers, always a pleasure to see your friendly faces. And who we have up next is my beloved friend. Now, I think I'm going to say this wrong, so please correct me. Is it Sedos?
Seodis, I think. Seodis, are you there?
Seodis, my dearest. Are you there? And do you have a post? You do? Excellent. Is your mic working? Say hello to our friends.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you are. Hello, Kobe, how are you?
I'm doing great, my dearest. How are you? And if you could speak up just a little bit for us, that would be so.
All right. What about now?
It's not much better. Can you speak up a little bit?
If she's not driving like a Formula One racing car or on the back of a bike, she's at the hairdresser's. You know.
Well, speak as loudly as you can, Seodis, and tell us about.
Okay, I will try to speak as loud as possible because it's midnight. It's actually 2 a.m. So I'm trying to keep my voice down so I won't wake everybody up. Okay, so but I believe you can hear me right now. This is my post. I'm doing a series about Christ in the book of Psalms. Most people know that the book of Psalms is in the Old Testament, but if we relate Christ with it, you know that some of the books in Psalms are related to Christ. They're related to Jesus Christ, as we're talking about Jesus Christ and everything about Him. We can see in the book of Psalms. I did the first series, which is the introduction of it. Then I went straight to the Psalms. Then I started with Psalm 2, Psalm 18, and this one is actually Psalm 22. Okay, this is not actually talking about the dominion of Christ here, but it's talking about the suffering of Christ. It's talking about the death of Christ and things related to the cross. So then I divided it into 4 parts. Into the verses into 4 parts. And if you read down there, I don't want to say much about it, but I would like you, if you're a Bible person, to read it, and it's a nice, interesting one. It's not always like maybe you're a church goer before you can read the Bible or something about the Bible. Actually, we learn everything from everything we read. So as I was saying, I divided into 4 parts. And the first one is a call for help, where Jesus was saying in the New Testament, "Why have you forsaken me?" And there actually you can see it in this psalm also. So most of it you can relate to the psalm with the New Testament, all about Jesus. So that's just a brief summary of the post. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And Seoris, you always share and write about your faith, or at least a lot of the posts that I read about you have that. Are you a pastor as well?
Actually, maybe you can say that. Okay, actually, I'm a pastor's wife, and we run a church here in South Africa. And so, but most of the time, I don't talk about that. So, but yes, I am.
Oh, well, I could definitely tell from all the things that you share on there, from the way you carry yourself. So I always particularly enjoy reading about your perspective on the Bible and whatnot. But let me open it to the floor. Does anyone have any comments or questions for Seoris?
Seoris, it's Robert here. I just wanted to ask you a quick question. It's not exactly pertaining to this post that you published, but do you believe that there might be people on the planet, direct descendants of Jesus in the bloodline?
Let me say in a short form that yes, there are still, not that there are still people. By faith, we are all descendants of Jesus. If you are comfortable with the Bible, you see. Let me go back way back to the time of Noah. After God destroyed the ark with water, and there were just 8 people who survived, who were in the ark. And through these 8 people, the whole world was established all over again. So we are by faith and by Jesus Christ, we are still descendant of Jesus all the way. So I believe we are all descendant of Jesus.
Thank you for sharing that.
Did I answer your question?
Well, Robert, was that question answered?
You did. Yes, sorry, I had a little problem with my keyboard. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Well, thank you so much for sharing. There it is again, guys. Freedom just posted it in the Discord for you. Get voting on it. Up next, we have John. John, are you
still here, Kabbalicious? Hi. Hi, everyone. Sidious, great post. Freedom, how are you? Everybody, how are you?
You see, another amazing Canadian. Love him.
Yes, we're bringing a lot of Canadians here. I saw the earlier post from the lady from Ontario, Toronto. It was beautiful. And the other gentleman, I think the man appreciation. I'm starting to notice to see a lot of pink coming around on a lot of posts these days, and I'm loving it. So.
Me too. It's so great. Do you have a post that you'd like to share with us today, John?
Yes, definitely. I'm going to drop it, and then I'll take it from there, okay?
Sounds like a plan. You have the floor whenever.
Now you know why I have an obsession with pink. I love pink, by the way. It's one of my favorite colors. So basically, this started about a week ago. I created a meme challenge for EasyDesk. And I read on my post a few girls or contestants didn't understand what a meme is. So I gave a brief description of what a meme is in real life and what a meme is on the internet that I found, and what a pink Dex Day meme is to us. So I'm going to go through the post. Anybody still hear me?
We can hear you, John.
Oh yeah, we're admiring the pink. Keep going.
Basically, I got the idea from EasyDesk. They're creating like a pool on the exchange where it's calculated every day. I wasn't ready for the contest on Friday to award the winner. So basically, I'm continuing the meme like the pool of the PB token pool. If people understand how it works from following EasyDesk, that's what I'm doing with this meme challenge. I'm going to be continuing it every week till we feel it's ready to award the winners with surprise awards every other post. And we think pink is cool for men, and it's manly, and it's not just about that. It's basically, there's nothing wrong if you're attracted to different colors or different things as a man or a woman, vice versa. So it started as a joke, but I'm taking it seriously and evolving it, and I'm feeling good about it.
Absolutely. Now, for those of us who aren't too familiar with the contest and what this platform that you're promoting and everything is, can you tell us a little bit more about the specifics of your post and what this Dex Day pink thing, or EasyDex, I should say, what it is and how this contest is correlated to?
Okay, EasyDesk is an exchange built on the BitShare colony, which right now, the PB token is on sale. They have a campaign running every day where if you send BTS, they calculate how much BTS according to what's sold, and they reward you with PB token, which the PB token is a portfolio builder. And that's where I got this idea to build the rewards like the token when the gateway's open. And I think I read, I'm too busy. I read that the PB token gateway for BTC is up and running. I'm not sure yet. I have to read it and I have to ask. And I'm trying to build this meme this way on the exchange. So it kind of correlates, it kind of works together if I'm taking it the right way.
All right, interesting. So if I'm to understand this correctly, the way that they participate is they have to have an EasyDex account, I'm assuming, correct?
BitShare account is great, but if you have an EasyDesk account, it could recover your password if you lose it. It's the only platform that's doing this right now, and Walrus, the developer, is really good at what he does. So, yes, to answer your question.
Okay, I got you. I think that's where I was a little bit confused. Interesting stuff. I personally love that you picked such an excellent color to promote and create this new reward. Obviously, everyone else is falling behind and not utilizing pink to its fullest content. But let's ask everyone else. Does anyone else have any questions or comments for John here before we move on to the next presenter?
I just wanted to ask something, if you allow me.
You're allowed.
So I haven't opened up my account on EasyDex, but could you tell me what are the somebody here? I think Freedom once said, or PowerPix, that we were going to be able to trade on EasyDex shares directly to BTC or USD. Is that correct, or am I wrong?
Yes, LCR, once the platform's gateways are open, like we're expecting BTC to start, yes, you could send in from your BT Share account to the EasyDesk and trade your pairs on the exchange, and then you get rewarded from the fees. Half the fees go back into your portfolio. So if you buy BTC, the fees of the BTC, half the fees go back into your portfolio as BTC, and you own it, and you can do whatever you want with it.
That sounds interesting. I'm going to look more into that. Thank you for that post, my friend.
LCR, thank you for bringing me to the show the first time. And yes, you should look into it. That's why I looked into it. It's something similar, I think, what EOS is doing. But they're giving back here, and they're planning more things. So, yeah, please do.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing... Sorry, Kobe, I just want to say the really important thing to know about the EasyDex .pb token, the portfolio builder token, is that it's exciting. It's a very unique token, actually, because even though at the moment it's actually trading around 5 BTS, if you want to sell it, it's higher than Whale Shares and Beyond Bits. It's a great token, but not just because of its BTS value, because if you hold this token, and it is a hold token, it will attract other crypto into your wallet, and that's what's unique about it. That's where EasyDex PB token gets exciting.
Absolutely, Freedom.
Hence, so it's called EasyDex PB, EasyDex Portfolio Builder Token, because it does what it says. It's going to build your portfolio up, you know.
And it's interchangeable with the other platforms as well. So that's really interesting. And I've heard whispers of this, but this is the first post that I've seen written about it. So I look forward to digging in and maybe even competing in it. So thank you for sharing that with us, John. Appreciate you being here. Any final thoughts before I let you go?
Basically, my mem challenge is based on what EasyDesk is doing, is contribute back to it and creating the pool. And at the end of my post, I'm creating like a virtual pink token, call it, for this mem challenge. After reading, if you have any questions, please forward them to me. I'll try to explain everything. I think it's not difficult, but once you get the hang of it, you're going to see every week it's building this reward for everybody.
Very good. Well, everyone, there it is again. Freedom just posted it for you. Get voting on it. Get involved if you can. You know what they say, the greatest winners are the ones who start first, especially when it comes to crypto. So get involved if you can. Up next, we have That Sweeney Guy. That Sweeney Guy, are you there?
Sure am. How's it going?
Oh, you know, just living the dream, hanging out with some cool kids. I see you posted your posty posts. Tell us all.
Along the same topic of tokens, I have a token for the makerspace that I'm opening in the real world. This week, we're trying to push on selling some tokens. I feel like I haven't really done enough promoting of them. I feel like I haven't sold enough of them. So this week I'm doing a big push, and we're giving away a bunch of these tokens, but we're gonna have to sell some in order to do it. The more tokens we're able to sell this week, the more we're going to add to a drop pool, which will be divvied out to everyone who purchases tokens this week. There are like 10 different payment methods in here, so pretty much any token you're holding. If you have a holding in some cryptocurrency that's not in this post, by all means, let me know. We'll figure out a trade. All the money that goes toward these tokens is we're trying to raise $30,000 to open a physical makerspace that will connect to blockchains and allow creatives and makers in our local community to bring not only bring value to the blockchain, but allow them to integrate the blockchain into their lives. Not a lot of people in my local community are into the blockchain space at all. And the Steam House is definitely going to be my way of pulling the 30,000 people that live in my hometown onto not only Steam it, but this summer is going to see a wave of new cryptocurrency social platforms, just like Steam it. Whale Shares is coming out with your own chain. EOS is coming out this summer, and the Steam House is going to connect to all of these blockchains and show creatives how to make money for the things that they are making in our space. The tokens are going to be tradable for things that we make in this space. We're going to run raffles and contests and all sorts of things that that you'll be able to use these tokens for in the future. And push comes to shove, you don't want to use our tokens, but you want to buy some tokens just to simply make some money. When we get our space open and we get to the end phases of our crowdfund, right now our tokens are for sale for around 20 cents a piece. That price kind of varies from here to here when it comes to the different tokens and that you're trading for, but they're around 20 cents right now. And when we reach the end of our crowdfund, we're going to be buying them back at least 50 cents. If the open market says they're worth more than 50 cents, then we're going to buy them at whatever the open market says, but at a minimum of 50 cents. And that's after we've got our space open. We've got the physical revenues coming in. We're going to devote a whole portion of our profits toward buying these tokens back from people who help us early on and get this space opened up.
And how close are you? How much longer would you say?
Not very. The first phase of the fund is around 150,000 tokens at 20 cents a piece. We've sold a few thousand tokens, but it's kind of a drop in the bucket at the moment. So we're really pushing the tokens. We're really pushing to sell the tokens. I've got a few things up my sleeve for this week to push them not only on Steemit like I have been, and I've pushed them on Facebook a couple times, but I'm going to be starting a local campaign where I'm actively telling people in my hometown about, you know, not just what I've been doing, because I've been telling a lot of people that I know, but I'm gonna be putting out flyers and literally posting around town that this is coming. You know, get on Steemit now, get your stake, get your tokens, and let's do this together.
And what would you say to the skeptics? If I could speak, words would be great. The people, the naysayers, for lack of better words, out there who say, you know, this is just another hoax, you know, this isn't going to go anywhere, that I shouldn't invest in this. What is something that you would say to them that sets this apart?
I think the number one thing, I've put out a full business model. I've put out a white paper. My real name is connected to this. I post a lot about this on my personal Facebook page. I'm totally accountable for this. 100%, I'm accountable for every bit of the money that comes into this account in person. It's very easy to go and find out just exactly who I am and where I live. Yeah, I'm 100% accountable. So I will answer to anyone and everyone about where it's all going.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Anyone else have any questions or comments?
Yeah, I have a question and comment. First question, are you partnering with other startups who have just a token out and drop on each other, or not yet?
I'm not sure if I caught that. I'm not sure if I followed that.
Are you doing airdrops or share drops on other projects who have token out?
Am I sharing the Steamhouse tokens with other projects, do you mean?
Yeah.
I think when I first set the token up, Platforms is a group that helps me manage the Discord server that I run and does a little bit of marketing for me. They actually helped me set the asset up, and they got an early 1% stake in the token. Other than that, I shared out another 1% stake in the full supply of the token with my dream team, which are like 40 people who I've already raised 2,000 Steam from. Some of these people have given me a couple hundred Steam. Some of these people have given me as little as 10 Steam. And they actually get a full portion of our blog profits. and that's their big benefit for being early investors. We're coming up with everything that we can offer to give people benefits for supporting us as early as they can. The one thing we need is money, but we've got time and effort and all kinds of things that we can offer in exchange for the money to help us open this space up.
Yeah, and that's what was my comment actually. You know, if you do that with other projects, that you receive tokens back, and you can use those again to bring a market going on by buying and selling the tokens.
Yeah, one thing about giving out a lot of the tokens I've seen is that I am trying to peg those initial coins at 20 cents. So when someone gets a good drop, you know, someone gets some of those tokens, they can throw them in the market and way undercut me. So I've seen a lot of tokens be sold that you know, none of that money's going toward the opening of the Steam House. So I've kind of been cautious about where I'm giving free tokens out, and this auction drop is a new kind of experiment to kind of peg how many I'm giving out for free to how many I can get sold.
But do you
Good
have
balancing act too for it, you know, Shivo?
Do you also have that you reach your goal? Because, you know, with the ICO you have hard and soft cap, right? To make it happen eventually.
Yeah, our first soft goal is that 150,000 tokens. That's $30,000 USD, and that opens that gets our space, that gets our physical space up and running, and keeps it up and running for a minimum of a year. That covers our first year's lease and the utility bills, plus gives us a nice start to get a couple 3D printers and things like that. And that's our first soft goal. And the end goal, we've got 3 or 4 more stages set after that are each, I think, 30 to 45,000 a piece. And those are all for upgrades and expansion. So there's a total of 1 million tokens, and only 500,000 of them are being sold. And those will all go toward different, you know, getting the Steam House up and running and expanded. And
I think it will come, everything will turn out well, because I know you are motivated, very passionate about it. So if I can help you, let me know it.
I'm wholly persistent, if nothing else. One thing I will totally throw out there for anybody that's listening, DM me if you feel like you could write a post about the project, not necessarily the token sale itself, but if you could help me, you know, drum up attention about the Steam House in general, let people know what I'm doing, I will totally find some way to reward you guys.
Oh, well, that's a nice offer. And I hope everyone listening, someone will take you up on that, because we have a lot of active members here. And sometimes it's not what you say or how you say, but who you say it to as well. And each and every one of you has a different audience out there. So that's Sweeney Guy. I appreciate you being on here. Appreciate you sharing us again about this project. I'm excited for it every time you do. Any final thoughts before I let you go?
Thanks a lot, guys. You know, I love whale shares. Some of you in this room have been with me all day listening to my petty stuff. I've been on ups and I've been on downs, and thank you guys. It's been really cool. Love you guys all.
Oh, you're welcome. And we wish you nothing but the best. Freedom just posted his post on there. Guys, get voting on it. Leave a comment of encouragement. And if any of you can help him out, please, please, please reach out to the Sweeney Guy. Even if nothing else, that's a great connection to make. Up next, we have Edith. Edith, my lovely dearest, are you there?
Who's Edith?
Isn't that who you sent?
Yidnith?
Oh, one of these days I'm going to get that right.
However, it looks like I don't know if she is there or not. Yidnith?
I saw her typing.
Bathroom break.
I told her she was next too. Let me tag her.
That's not like Yidnith. She takes us everywhere she goes. What's going on?
This is so true. All right, well, we'll hit pause on that right now, and we'll get back to her. Up next, we have the very handsome LC.
LCR, that's you.
Now, if I say anything that remotely sounds like you, most likely it is. I'm apparently excellent at mispronouncing all of your names and spelling it, apparently.
Okay, thank you, but you have to say LCR.
No, she has to say LCR.
LCR.
Yes, LCR.
Hey,
Do you have a post for us today?
oh, that sounds very nice. Could you do it?
I could, but I'd much rather you tell us about your post. Do you have a post for?
Yes, I do. Here is. First of all, good evening, everyone. Nice to meet you, new people here in the Curation Lounge of FreedomExists. Here in this post, I just want to share with you a little bit of, happiness and celebration, because here in Panama, the month of May is declared as the month of the Afro-Latin community here in our country. We are actually celebrating in a lot of part of the country, honoring the end of slavery in 2 centuries, by the end of 2 centuries ago, when we were part of the New Grenade Republic. Actually Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Venezuela, part of Brazil, Ecuador, mostly Colombia and Panama were part of it. And when the slavery was abolished, was a very important thing. And every May we celebrate, we have a lot of parades, and everyone gets to wear traditional costumes, and a lot of visitors and tourists, they enjoy about this. So I decided to support, letting everyone know that every May, every year we celebrate that. And here in Boca's Caribbean side, most of the people come from Afro descendancy. And I went to the local park. Every day is something going on, and I make a nice video filming all the kids, that were participating and dancing with the traditional dresses. And it was very fun. I put a video together and I uploaded on DLive. Actually, this is my first DLive video. I'm not into videos, but I try to do my best. And I wrote a little bit about how this celebration is about. And as you can see, something that I am really proud of for being a Panamanian is that in Panama, we are a mix of different type of races since the very beginning when Panama started. And we all support each other, in every single festivity, we are always supporting each other. And it was very fun. So that's it, guys. I took a really nice picture, so you can check it out. And thank you. That's all.
I love this. This is amazing. I actually have a friend who lives in Panama. She's been traveling in Europe, so I'm going to ask her if she's seen any of this since she's gotten back. There's a girl wearing a stash that says Reno 2018. Was she in some sort of pageant?
Could you repeat that, please?
Yes, I think it's the second to last picture. There's this adorable little girl, and she's wearing this thing around her, and it says Rena 2018. Did she win some sort of award? Is that part of a play or something?
Okay, so part of the celebration is that there is a queen of the parades that is selected. The adults, they have their celebration, and they also select a queen, and the kids, they also selected a queen, and it's her. So it's she. In the video, she's also dancing a traditional dance called El Coco, which is actually a Congo type of music. And yeah, she's like 6 years old, 6 years old, and it was pretty cool, to take a picture of her and filming her dancing, very confident on herself. So it was very nice to see all these kids enjoying their traditions.
Oh, cool. In Brazil, we have something similar. We have the big carnivals that everyone knows with lots of dancing and everything, and they have a queen of it as well. Very rarely do I ever see children involved in it, so I love how family-friendly this is. Very cool. Any comments or questions from anyone?
ScuzzyBot wants to know, why is Batman holding a handgun?
I knew I knew that Scuzzy was gonna ask something like that, because he always came up with these, questions that only he asked. It's a good question, man, because when I took the picture, I was like, hey, really? Why, But kids are kids, and they do the same thing that they see on TV. And in the video, he actually, if you see the video, the lady is painting his face, and then I asked him, hey, can I take a picture of you? I said, okay, go ahead. And he's so serious. And then when I'm taking the picture, he puts the hand like a gun, and his mom was there, and everybody was, laughing. But it's a innocent way just to show. Don't think he's a thug or something. He's just like 6 years old or something like that, Actually, his brother is the one that has the Flash superhero painting on his face, and he's more, posing a better pose for the picture.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us, and congratulations to the people. I'm watching a little bit of the video now, and I love their dancing. It reminds me of Brazil a lot. So I'm going to pause this and finish watching it later. So thank you for recording that. Thank you for presenting this, and I appreciate it. There it is again, guys. Freedom just posted it for you. Get voting on it ASAP. And boy, Robert, are you there, my friend?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for being here. If you want to copy pasta your post in the chat room, whenever you're ready, you have the floor.
There it is. I posted it. It's al dente.
My favorite. Tell me all about it.
All right. I don't want to take up too much time. There's probably a lot of other better posts than mine. I just wanted to continue the experiment we were doing on my last post, where this post I did it strictly organic, where I didn't use any form or any kind of promotion on this. Nothing through Discord, nothing on Facebook, and no bots. And I did like you suggested. I went through my followers list, and I just randomly started just picking off people and sending them a link. I'd upvote one of their posts and then send them the link and a little brief description of what my experiment's all about, and explaining that it's not really the content of the post, but the meaning behind it, to show their support. And as you could see, there wasn't that much love.
Oh, how disappointing. I really thought if you engaged more with your followers and your following, that some of them would engage back and check it out. But it just goes to show that I was wrong. So if you don't use bots, and if engaging and promotion doesn't work, what else do you think you could try to get more traffic through on your page?
I'm really not sure. I just finished doing a photo shoot with my daughter today. She takes ballet jazz, and we went to a couple of really cool places today. I wish I was presenting this, but this is going to be my next post. Well, I was going to say for Thursday night, but we don't do Thursday nights anymore. But for the next show, it's going to be pretty kick-ass. I took some pictures in the field, at a skateboard park, in a cornfield, pretty wicked stuff.
Oh, that sounds exciting. I look forward to hearing all about it next Sunday. And even though Thursday's show will not be this show, Freedom, rest us all assured that it is going to be another phenomenal opportunity to promote and win whatever is that there is to be won. So that should be exciting. Alrighty, any comments or questions from our guests?
I'd just like to address Boy Robert's concerns because, in fact, I'm going to just check his profile while we're all here together. And he has 864 followers, and he's following 1,106. His reputation is 49, and he joined in March 2018. So what are we now? Oh, right. So, Boy Robert, you're very new, really, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm almost like you would consider me plankton, not even a minnow.
Well, this is even more interesting then, because I thought that was March 2017. So you've been on the platform, what, 2 months, yet you've acquired 864 followers, which is impressive. How do you think you've done that?
Oh, anybody that followed me, I would follow them back.
Okay, all right, so it's follow for follow. Is that it?
Yeah, exactly. And one weird thing I found when I was going through my list of picking off people, just to randomly pick them off to send them, to include them in my experiment, I found a lot of people haven't been posting for months. And then I found some people that were bots, they weren't even people. And then a lot of people don't even make posts, they just re-steam all the time. So it's
yeah, I mean, this is it. When you're following so many people, I can see why you've managed to get 864 followers. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with this, by the way, other than the fact that your feed must be jam-packed with stuff. But what I think might be happening is you're not being able to build up perhaps certain relationships here. And I think maybe that might be impacting a little bit detrimentally on your Steemit experience, because relationship building and is a big part of, certainly for me, from my experience, was a massive part of my learning curve. And I only follow, just to let you know, after 15, 16 months on Steemit, I only follow 59 people, and I've got over 1,000 followers. So I would maybe concentrate more, because I've enjoyed your experimenting with the bots. I think it's an important debate that we all need to be having. But for you personally, Boy Robert, the fact that you've only been on Steemit a couple of months, it might be the approach you've got to followers. Try working on relationship building a bit more. Try striking up more conversations, making connections. And obviously build up more of a kind of blog character, a blog personality, if you like. Because I think then, if you do focus on those things a bit more, because you've clearly got something to contribute, and you've got character, and it comes through in these shows. I think if you focus on those more, you are going to attract a better level of reward to your posts.
Hey, thank you. Well, when I started off in this, I was thinking about how I can get, the most kind of upvotes and attraction as much as possible. So automatically I thought, well, the more people are following me, the more I'm following, the more support I'll get. But obviously that's not the way it works.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people make that sort of, they come to that opinion because of the experiences they've had, maybe, I don't know, on Twitter or Facebook, but it is different on Steemit. What were you going to say, Savo?
It's working against you, because if you have, just what Freedom says, if you're just on a platform with 800 followers and following like 30 or something, you just destroyed your feed with a lot of fake people or spammers or people who are already left the platform. So, I think that's that will take on the see it, and they on purpose, because of that, don't have interest in you. But your posts are okay, it's a pity.
Yeah, I'll definitely maybe take your advice, both of you guys, and do a massive cleanup.
That's an excellent point, Freedom. I guess I didn't realize you were so new. I thought you had been on the platform for a while, but yeah, as a new user,
you know what, Cubby,
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, Cubby, but do you know what? You see, Boy Robert was a bit deceptive because he comes across really confident and professional, like he's some kind of Steam It legend, you know? Like he's been
Seriously, that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, he's probably been here so long. How is this happening?
Exactly. So he's clearly got it, but it's just the fact that, you know, I think a little change in approach might sort that out, because you shouldn't have to be forced onto vote.
Oh, absolutely. And he has you have all the good habits, Robert, of a successful Steamian. It's just you're so new, and Freedom brings up an excellent point that you haven't really presented your niche just yet. I love the post that you make about your daughter, and I think that's ultimately what people will really connect with you on. And now that you've noticed that a lot of your followers aren't real followers, they're not people who are going to read or engage with you, you might want to do some cleanup. I always try to keep my following to 100 people, and obviously a lot of times I go over, but I'm impressed that Freedom can keep his at his number, because you make so many friends while you're here, especially over a long period of time. But if you really focus on engaging with people that you like reading their stuff, or you connect with them, or you work on projects like this one with Freedom, you'll start to see the support slowly coming and being more consistent over time. But definitely you have excellent a mindset about how to approach this and the work ethic. I just wouldn't jump to conclusions so yet. I'm interested to hear a year down the road how you compare your first 6 months to the second half of the year. And I think you'll see a huge difference.
Totally agree with all of that. Absolutely.
Very cool. Well, thanks for bringing that up, Freedom. And Robert, thank you so much for sharing with us. Any final thoughts before we move on? Oh, look.
Well, I like to state that behind every bot, there should be a real physical person. But I could be wrong on that. What are your perceptions on this statement that I just made?
Well, I think that people create scripts that create these Autobots. I don't know if you guys have noticed recently, but anytime you post, you get like 10 random accounts that automatically follow you. And their hope is that you'll follow and upvote all of them, but they don't really engage with you at all. So is there a person that's making these accounts auto-vote everyone? Probably. But are they real people that you want to engage with? Probably not.
Makes sense. So I've realized that Steemit has this strange influx of, well, the Marky Mark knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's from his post about how Steam practically makes accounts for certain curators. And literally it's the accounts with the same name with numbers at the end. And it's like in sequence almost. And they're being, allowed to do this. Do you think this is going to harm the longevity of the Steemit platform?
Definitely an excellent conversation for another day. When being decentralized and having a lot of developers or coders on the platform, I think it's not surprising to see a lot of things like that. And if we want it to be controlled or changed, the only thing I can say is be the change you want to see in the world and keep doing your own thing. You can't control everyone. You can only control what you do and act from there. So, the only control you do have is the witnesses that you pick. But I'd love to, if you made a post, to write some more about it and engage with Marky Mark on it and see if you two can't come up with more solutions for the rest of us. But we have other people who would like to present. So thank you for asking these thoughtful questions and presenting for us. I do have to give the mic back to Freedom. So thank you all so much for allowing me to step in here and read some of your posts. Freedom just posted by Robert's post on there again. Do give him a follow and encouraging words for him not to give up as a new Steamian, and hopefully we'll keep seeing him doing his thing. And a year down the road, he'll be the next whale that showers on all of us for supporting him when he was so little. Freedom.
Thank you indeed, Cubby. Awesome job as always. I do think you're destined for radio or something, Cubby. You do have a great voice and great personality. So thank you very much for that. You did a great job again. And I don't need to say it, but thank you. Right, okay. And thank you again. And yeah, that's enough. Okay, I'm going to just ask people to now DM me their BitShares username so I can get you all some hair shares at the end of the show for those that have presented a post. So go ahead, DM me your BitShares username and I will get you some hair shares. for those that have presented a post. We have it's been very busy for a Sunday, but I will try fitting in a few more. And up next, I'm going to ask Black Libertario to present. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here for you.
Well, you're a bit quiet.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, just about. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, well, that's my post. It's about education and my thoughts on it. I made a critique of our education system and all the things that I have observed so far, since I've been studying basically my whole life. And so first, the first thing that I have been noticing in our education system, I'm talking about Western education system, okay, is that instead of teaching the kids how to use the information properly, we are basically telling them what to learn. And we don't even give them the tools to learn. They just learn by their own means, and we are not specifically teaching them how to learn. And to be honest, it's quite irrational in these times to memorize stuff when you have a cell phone in your pocket where you could get all the information that you want. I would totally understand that in the past, but nowadays it's just nonsense. The other things that I've been noticing is that we are not teaching kids to love knowledge. Rather, we are just teaching them how to love grades. Kids at school do not take care of what they are being taught, but how to manage to have a good grade. It's pointless, the knowledge, and what is important are the grades. And I found neglected that our professors, knowing the world we live in, do nothing to change the current curricula where everything is based on this concept of memorizing, instead of that they should teach us how to use the information, how to discriminate the information, how to think critically, and all that stuff. Another ones that needs to are the politicians. They have a stake of the blame here. They rather of taking care of improving the education system, they are just focusing on improving the quantity of the people rather than the quality. And to be honest, I would say it is on purpose. It is on purpose to give the population what the government wants, basically indoctrination, and the people don't even realize that. Governments use the education just for their own purposes. That's why most of politicians in their political campaigns always address the theme of education. And best example of this is that the subjects such as politics, economic concepts, financial education, among other things that are important, are not part of our education system or our curricula. And those things develop in ourselves a sense of responsibility and also how to think critical. The last thing that I have observed in the schools is that it's totally different from what we used to do in the past. Nowadays, education is focused for the work world and not to produce knowledge. And to be honest, education is not for everyone. In my personal experience, there is a lot of guys who are just there filling a desk, and just because their parent told to do so. And things is that there are two narratives that I have noticed. One side, there is the people that says that education is worthless, there is no point, that you should quit. And from the other side is the people that hoist the education in a level where you could be no one if you don't get educated. And just to wrap up, I'm really giving away my thoughts on this. If you have anything to say, just said it. Even though you disagree with me, just said it. I believe education is fundamental, and we have made a lot of progress with education, but nowadays it's stuck. And I'll be giving soon a second part of this post where I'm going to talk about the solutions for all the things that I'm explaining here. And as I said, well, not as I said, but I'm not a pedagogue. I don't know much about teaching and all that stuff, but those are things that I have been noticing. And if you notice them too, just let me know. And well, thank you for having me.
You're welcome, Black Libertario, and thank you for bringing another thought-provoking post, because education is a massive issue, and there are different ways to go about education. Most of us will know, certainly in the Western world, that you go to school and you have a younger school, then you go to an older school, a secondary school, we call it in Britain, and then you go, if you want to continue, you go to university. And there's like this straight line from the age of 4 to the age of 21, say, maybe a bit older if you want to be a doctor or something. And the problem is that approach to education, which is all academia based, only works for some people. Universities are great for producing professors, but they're not so great for producing other skills that we need in our society. So, I mean, there's so many different angles on this that there is no one right way. But that's often missed in the education system, certainly in my country. What you said, I'm going through your posts, Black Libertario, and there's something that really, really strikes a chord with me, because I completed my first degree in law and politics, and I remember even then looking at this whole course I was on, thinking, hang on a minute, all these lecturers, they're just getting us to memorize information that we can regurgitate in exams. And it's like, is this just simply one long test of memory? I didn't quite get it. But really, ultimately, that's what it came down to. If you do a law degree, you have to have a damn good capacity for memory. I mean, that's the main skill it's testing, and it's such a rigid, limited assessment of someone's ability. You know, it's bizarre.
Yeah, that's the first thing that I've noticed in our education system, the fact that we do not learn anything just to memorize. And to be honest, those things that you memorize for an exam, you just forget it 2 hours after the exam. And what's the point just to learn something to get a grade that says that you knew this by a certain amount of times? It's just pointless. I really believe that there needs to be a change in nowadays education and information. You could find information everywhere, and in your pocket, in your computer, everywhere you have the information. And I think in schools yet do not have the monopoly that they used to have after the imprint about the education. So instead of having everyone going to college, the university and the college just have a monopoly towards the degrees that allows you to work. So basically, what could be positive for our society if that weren't the point? I mean, there needs to be like a reshape of our education system. I believe that there's people who have never been to college and have the capacities to be even better than a person that have gone to college and to learn, and that needs to change, to me.
Well, yeah, there's certainly that aspect, but Black Libertario, I mean, in my country, there is far too much reliance placed on the education system, okay? Because, I mean, LCR just said there that education in certain parts of the world is abandoned because it empowers people. Well, the education system in my country doesn't often empower people. If anything, it stunts them. And it is I've done 2 separate degrees. I've been through the system twice, and it has not empowered me much, I can assure you. It has given me a very big sense of anger about what on earth we are being taught and the way we are being taught. All it's done is really serve an example of how not to teach people. So I'm not so sure. Depending on the country you're in, certain education systems are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they're certainly not empowering people, at least not in Britain. Anyway, but it's a great post. It's a fantastic topic, and I'm going to put the link up again. Any comments or questions?
I have a question. Excuse me. So I, for the most part, agree with this post wholly. I've read the majority of it already, and you know, I think this comes down to the prospect of indoctrination and not wanting people to be truly educated. But there's one thing that I do disagree with that I found. Stating that I'm going to quote you here, not because one have come to the logical conclusion through reasoning, but because the teacher has said so. It cannot necessarily think this is the teacher's fault. This monopoly conglomerate of information through textbooks, where literally the people at the top control what the teachers are allowed to teach. What are your opinions on my statement?
Yeah, I do get it what you mean. What I was trying to say, there's a mistake in the post. I should have, because I committed fallacious for generalization. I should have said that there are some teachers that you cannot question because they represent the authority. And that's something that happens in the college. I have experience with some of my teachers that when I question them on something that they believe, they would argue that I have to shut up because they are the professors and they are the ones that have learned and have the right to say so. And that's what I wanted to say in that point.
All right, I completely understand. Well, nonetheless, we all seem to generalize and stereotype from time to time, so you are forgiven. Excuse me.
Well, that's nice to win £10 forgiveness.
I just have to say that I've been my whole life studying since I was 3 years old. There has not been no year that I haven't studied. And I learned since I was young that everything that I was taught I should critical thinking should use critical thinking on it. Since I entered the college, I knew that everything that they were giving me mostly was from the left wing. So if I shouldn't have gone further than everything that they taught me there, I would probably not even be here. I would just, be a guy that was indoctrinated and has no opinion on anything, just to follow the lead of the people.
All right, dude, we're going to have to just leave that there. But another great post. You do explore these very provocative subjects. I'm glad you do, because they can often be very contentious. And it's good that we talk about them. And I think we've had another good conversation. So there it is, guys. Another great post from Black Libertario. Get voting on it. Thanks for that, dude. Right, going to move on. Don't forget, guys, those of you that have presented a post, DM me your BitShares username, and I can get you some hair shares. And I am now moving on to Savo. Savo, are you there?
Hey, hi. Yeah, I'm here.
Good. How are you?
It's super warm.
Oh, tell me about it. It's really humid here as well.
Yeah, I live in these small houses in Eindhoven, which are basically Philips houses, and it's super cheap. Only the problem is they are crap and super old. So when the sun is shining on the roof, it's basically heating up.
It melts your house.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's we're getting into summertime. I'm not going to knock it too much. What have you got for us?
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, I can make a song or something, but I don't have a post to present. I'm just here because of the video.
No, that's absolutely fine. We're almost 15 minutes past the end time anyway, which is absolutely fine. Is there anything else you want to say?
Enjoy the summer.
Exactly. There we go. What a lovely sentiment there from Savo. Thank you for that joyous sentiment. Right. Okay. Up next, Crystal Pacheco. Are you?
I am here. Can you hear me?
We can.
Ooh, yay. Well, I'm going to post my winners for the hair share contest I held.
Oh, okay. Remind us which contest this was for. Oh, there's that. Now I'm happy because there's my new home.
I thought you would probably like it. I love that I got so many creative, and then I got I got some ones like this that had van, and you know me, I'm all about the van life. But this was basically, if money was an object, what kind of vehicle would you get? Some people, the time machines. Some people had underwater vehicles. And so it was very interesting to see all the interesting things. I really, really did love them all.
Hey, Crystal?
Yes?
Technically, it's not a underwater vehicle. It's a car that goes on the road that transforms and is able to be submersible.
Well, I liked it either way. It was really cool. I never really saw that. I was like, ooh, I would love that.
Is that boy Robert being ultra pedantic or something?
No, I posted a James Bond car.
I think. Oh, it was yours. Yes. Sorry, I beg your pardon. I'm just coming to it now, but I like it. But I'm sorry, nothing beats that VW. Nothing will ever beat that beast of a vehicle. That's not just a vehicle. That's a home on wheels. And there's a pink one. There's a pink one if you want it, but it is an ultra cool home on wheels, and I love it. They were so popular. I think they still are now. I don't know if they're still making them. Crystal.
To my knowledge, a lot of people will take the old ones from the 80s and stuff and just make it up to date as much as they can and just fix it up. I haven't seen that anything, but with van life becoming more popular, especially with us younger folks are doing it a lot more. You never know.
Well, the Honeys seems to know quite a lot about this. Apparently they don't make them anymore, but they are definitely refurbishing. Apparently, they are worth a lot. I know they are. I've seen some that are very expensive, to be honest with you. A little bit overpriced, if I'm honest. But they've managed to achieve that kind of cult classic status, haven't they?
Definitely. And I also do find like the old, I know Winnebago did vans like that, like these kind of sort of vans. And, people pay because in the States, definitely, they're not very popular from the manufacturers. Now we're just finally getting camper vans, which the UK have. So hopefully in time that can change. You never know.
Yeah, well, I think this is it was a quite a unique contest. I liked it. Fantastic idea. Good to see the gondola made it into the winning streak.
I mean, if I could live in a city that was all on water, I mean, that would be perfect. No gas. Because let's face it, gas prices are crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a cheap form of cheap mode of transport, definitely. Very nice indeed. And you gave away quite a lot of hair shares again.
Yes, luckily they're cheap to buy. I always try to give hair shares out and give them to everybody. Everybody that participated got 30 hair shares. It's a good way to help people that are struggling. They get more than 5 cents on their post because, let's face it, it's a tough road out here on the steamer streets just to make a couple bucks.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. And by the way, that's why I now just throw in my own personal hair shares just to give out a few extra because it does all help, And yeah, great contest. Thanks for sharing. Right, any comments or questions for Crystal?
Yeah, you mentioned the fact that gas prices are crazy. I think more so if the world keeps going at this rate, everybody's going to need a yacht instead of a car. So.
Yeah, definitely. I know there's some people that instead of doing the van life, they will also there's some people that just live on the boats just because they had it and they kind of using that as their home. So I could see that being a possibility too.
Scuzzy wants to know what's your next contest going to be about?
I really don't know. If on this post, if you have an idea, enter it away. I was probably thinking, you guys can give me feedback here. Music, like your favorite artist / band. Let's do something a little different.
It's not really different.
I didn't catch what she said. What is it you're going to do?
Music. What's your favorite singer or band?
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. You're moving into music now. You've done TV, film, done vehicles. Now it's music. Fair enough.
You should do it your favorite Steamian musician or music. That way you can show support for those who are already on the platform.
Right, yeah, Yogi.
Yeah, there you go. If you sort of localize it to Steam it, that'd be interesting.
That was a very good idea. I might just do that.
Awesome.
Please do.
Right, okay. Gonna put the link up to Crystal's post one more time. Oh, I love that picture. Fantastic. Great cover image. Right, okay. I'm going to try fitting in one more before we wrap up. Bug IQ.
Oh, I'm here. How you doing?
I'm great. Dude, how are you?
Hanging in there. How's everybody?
I can't speak for them, but I hope they're okay.
Well, it's going to be another Planktown night. I wanted everyone to see finally see the panoramic view of Planktown.
Oh, awesome. Moving image. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so, we've been mostly indoors in the saloon and that kind of thing. And for those who don't know, Planktown's my little, underwater world on my take on the Steemit platform. Plankton, Planktown. Who knows? Maybe I'll do Krillville one day. Yeah, just I just kind of like figured we needed a little bit of levity on the platform. Planktown was almost born before I started on Steemit because I watched the trending page for like 2 weeks before I even got an account.
Oh, that's interesting.
Sorry, sorry, what was that?
I didn't know if I interrupted you or whether you finished. Sorry, go on.
Oh, I was just going to say I was kind of excited to share this one because all the other Planktown posts have been, just parody rewrites of famous songs like Brown Eyed Girl, I Made Brown Eyed Krill, I Fought the Law, I Made I Flagged the Law, and the Law won. And so this is the first Planktown post featuring one of my own original songs that I wrote in a smelly old oil changing vehicle in some coveralls with grease all over me.
Did you? But you wrote it specifically for Planktown, yeah?
No. Oh God, no. This is on my. This came out on my 2013 album in Canada here.
Are you going to write? Are you going to write like some kind of epic music score for Planktown?
Oh sure. I've been working on the. I've got the guitar part mostly done and the lyrics for the animation series theme, if you will. When we finally get some animation, when I land those big whales that are going to, help me out for development.
Do you know what? I really, really want you to get on with this because I want to start watching episodes of this. I want you to start building narratives and exploring these characters and putting them in these really engaging situations. I want there to be heroes and villains, I want, you could do so much with this. I want to see this really come to life.
I do too. And, I'm not going to be, I'm not saying I'm going to be hardcore libertarian on this, but there will definitely be themes along that line because there is nothing for children in any cartoon that I've ever seen that has any libertarian view in it.
Well, there we go. You've got a niche there for sure. What will be great for us Steemians is if you decide to. I think that's the plan. You're going to use some actual Steemians, aren't you, in it?
There's actually several already. Globocop is, the Sheriff Globy, and I'm Planky the Plankton. And, everyone knows I'm in love with Blueberry. And, right beside Shadow's saloon there, that's his restaurant, the Krill and Grill. He's a dangerous guy, Krill Bill. Watch his ass.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what? He does sound it. Can't think why. But this is great. It's such a creative platform. You can go so far with this, can't you? Have you got that far with it in terms of development? Are you thinking of plots and things already, or not?
Yeah, I have about 5 to 6 weeks in the can already, as far as future graphics, and then I just write the stories and either rewrite a song as a parody. Like I've got some great songs that I've picked out for parodies. I think the villain for Planktown is going to end up, in real life, it's always the man. So it's probably going to be the merman is always trying to take over Planktown and stuff like that.
Oh, the merman. Oh, you're getting into gender politics now.
Yeah, well, it's going to stay that way because there's no way I'm calling him the mer person.
That wouldn't make a lot of sense lately. Are you the only one that writes these stories, or do you have other people who kind of correlate with you? My gosh, I can't speak tonight.
I don't corabulate with anyone else.
My mouth got all tongue twisted.
That was
Tell
like
you what,
awesome. You're like
one too many glasses of
rented lips. No, it was I don't have any collaboration on the stories or the songs or the lyrics or anything. Face palm. But I do have Darosnek, who is my artist, and then Globocop. He's actually really good on the production side, so it really relieves me of having to mix and master all the songs. So I just send him the raw vocal, and I mean raw. There's no reverb on it, nothing, no compression, zero. He adds that all. He puts in the cool little bubble sounds that it's, unfortunately, one of the reasons I used one of my own original songs this week, honestly, is because Globocop's mom passed over a week ago, so a couple of weeks ago. So he's been, you know, he was gone off the platform for well over a week, and he's just coming back on now. So, you know, God bless him, and hopefully he's starting to feel better soon.
Yeah, he had a show the other day where he was playing his classical music, and he mentioned it all to us, and poor guy, he got a little emotional, and it's real tough, but it's good that he has us friends here to kind of help him get back on his feet, and he's not, you know, just coming back to an empty platform. He has all us here to keep him busy and kind of get him back on track during his time.
Yeah, so true. You can see on the you know, like his touch on the project is really appreciated, because it really relieves me of a lot of pressure that I can just basically focus on writing and you know, coming up with ideas for different songs.
Absolutely. He's really good at that too. He's so talented. So it's nice that you can focus on what you're really good at, give the little bit that you have on to him, and have him really utilize his own skills. So very cool. I, for one, really enjoy Plankton Down. I think it's so creative that you guys came up with that. So really cool.
Hey, I have a question. Do you have any angel investors?
You mean, did you say angelfish? Sorry.
Angel investors, dude.
No, not yet, bro.
What the hell is an angel investor?
I don't know. They just like drop pennies from heaven, man.
It's somebody who backs your project.
Why is £10 sterling saying that with behind the giggles? I don't get it.
Well, the question is valid. I'm not sure about the giggle. There could be a little drinking going on there. However,
I'm completely sober, bro. Just a heads up. I just like your plot, to say the least.
Thanks. No, I was hoping for some angel investment, and I have spoken to some people. I've tried to actually get in touch with Steam It Corporate, and I've been given a couple contacts there. So I'm still pursuing that. It could happen, because the plans that we really have for Planktown are pretty far reaching. Like, we already have merch set up, but we haven't advertised that yet. We have a whole series of other stories that go through Planktown. If you've ever seen the movie Stargate, you know, so we kind of have a little secret starfish gate in Planktown that takes us to the whole Plankverse and all these other worlds. Like, I probably won't call it Plank Trek or the Plankshire or Planktron, but that idea, you know, we don't have to stay in Planktown. We can go into outer space, and, you know, fishy creatures can go on land with a fishbowl helmet with water to breathe and stuff like that. Just make it fun and have some fun.
Yeah.
Game, trying to do a mobile game, but I can't find a coder to save my life.
Well, I think you should concentrate on this first, and I think you need to come up with some kind of business strategy to get the attention of a whale.
Hey, speaking of games and coding, there's actually an engine that you could utilize called Engine 001, where you can actually make a mobile game without coding experience. It's all point and click, really simple, easy to use user interface as well. I'm going to type it in chat, just and link to the website.
Yeah, sure. Hey, man.
But that's because we're looking for a coder as well. So you're helping two people there. Engine 001. Oh, don't know it. Is that a website? Yeah, there it is. Bug, make a note.
Yeah, I'm going to save that in my little browser saver.
We do that in your browser saver thing, but also, as I say, maybe try working on some kind of plan to get nice big fat cash injection to get Planktown off the ground. I think loads of us would really like to see this come to life.
Yeah, thanks. We're sure trying. We do have a long-term plan in place that I've shared with a couple people, and we're trying to get the attention of people like Marky Mark and maybe another, like Johnny Clearwater is partnering with Booster with For Stickin' for Hots and Shots, so he's getting 100% power votes from Booster for advertising Booster as a bid bot. I do use them. I didn't use them religiously for the longest time because from the time I started on the platform, it was only a couple weeks until I thought about Planktown, and I started planning. I started saving all my own SBD, and that's what I used to boost all my posts, is my own organic SBD that I just saved up since I started.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, because therefore basically you haven't incorporated or brought in any of your own finance. You've literally used everything that you've earned on Steam, haven't you?
100%. Yeah, I just did it from the ground up with that in mind. And I never boosted any of my own posts until I started Planktown. And as soon as I started Planktown, a bunch of people told me I was, an extremely bad person for using bid bots, and called me down, and I got shitty DMs from people because I was trending. And I said, you know what? God bless you. You've made things very clear for me. I will never put out a post without boosting it again in this life, personal, Planktown, or otherwise. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's entirely up to you, of course, if you choose to use boosters, and no one should be. I do remember actually a post, Bug, and I was really quite angry. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been the first Planktown post that you did to really boost it. I think you released some really important update about your project, and you boosted it, and somebody came in with this real strong comment, wasn't it?
Yeah, we've had a few of those. They've been few and far between, but really, ultimately, it just galvanized me to do my own thing. I just don't even think about those people anymore. I thank them for their service, and I'm off and running.
Yeah, no, exactly. And this is it. You have to find your own path on Steemit for sure. And you've clearly done that. And if you need to use bidbots, sadly, I still use that word sadly because it's a reluctance there for me. Because I don't think anybody who has talent like you do should be forced onto them. But there we go. If you do, that's entirely up to you. It's your decision. And you have used all the SBD that you've earned anyway from the platform and invested it in those boosters.
Yeah, and I sure do wish I had an alternative. I wish I had some supporters and I do have a lot of supporters for Planktown. It's a few bucks at a time here and there, and I do try to be as ethical as I can. As far as I do try to use Minnow Booster. Maybe some people don't view that as ethical, but at least they do whitelist everybody before you can really use their service as far as the higher amounts go. And they're really fast to blacklist people. So I think there wouldn't be really a lot of comment farming and spamming, especially with the very low amounts that a lot of bid bots allow people to buy at. And if they whitelisted everyone on the front end, the front end, it's going to be slower for them. They're going to make less money at first. But I'd rather see them whitelist everyone, even though it seems like, it's a bit of a club and you can't really determine, truthfully, like one person's art is, trash is another person's treasure. You shouldn't really be judging everyone's art. And I'm like, wow, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Try and talk to Netflix about that and tell them, they should renew a trashy program that didn't get any views from their viewership. People have the right, when money is involved, to judge what the value of the art is to them. We all do.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. But don't forget, and I'm going to do a plug now. This will be less of an issue on the new Welshers platform. It's going to be a different ecosystem. There's going to be a fairer rewards distribution. There's going to be a fairer chance for everyone. If you've got something to give, if you're prepared to make the effort, you know, it's going to be different to Steemit. So I'm going to give a plug there to Welshers, because we're trying to avoid obviously what happened on Steemit and the direction it went. But look, Bug, we're going to have to wrap up. And I'm going to put the link up to your post one more time. It's an awesome project, guys. Give it some appreciation, and wish Bug IQ all the best. Thank you for that, dude.
Thanks so much, and I'm really looking forward to hearing about whale shares. I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like, the new platform.
Oh, as am I. As am I. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Been very busy for a Sunday night. I am sorry to those that didn't get in. I know there's been a few. I do apologise, but we're running very late as it is, so I have to wrap up. But thank you to everybody who came, and thank you to those who presented a post. Don't forget to DM me your BitShares username, those who presented a post, and I will get you all some air shares. So yes, awesome indeed. And I just want to thank my amazing assistant host again, the very spicy Cubbalicious. He did a fantastic job again. Thank you for that, Cubby. Awesome job as always. And that's it for this show. Don't forget now, we are weekly only, the Promote Your Post show. So the next Promote Your Post show is next Sunday. But as I say, look out for that new show coming up Thursday, and I hope to see you all then. All right, guys, take care.